Hello there everyone, it's Wednesday again, time for another WIP and chat. So grab your project, grab your drink and come and sit with me. I say me because it's not an us today. Ellie downloaded a new game and she's obviously enjoying it. She may join us at some point when she's had enough, she may not. But for now it's just me, and I'm working on Ellie's geisha woman again, girl. I hope you guys have been having a great week so far. It is absolutely freezing here. Oops. I've got my big thick pajamas on because I am so cold, and oops, I picked up two. The heating's on and I'm still cold. I don't know about anyone else, but when I get cold, my other half will say to me, "Are you cold?" And the first place that goes cold on me is always my nose. Always. It's really weird. And he even said to me once, when I ask you, "Why do you touch your nose?" Because that's the first thing that goes on me. And then shortly after follow the hands. Sometimes I just get cold hands for no reason at all. I'm not even cold and they're freezing. It's really weird. So, did you have a good weekend? Did you do anything special? Saw my dad for the first time in months. He didn't come in, obviously, because we're still keeping ourselves to ourselves. He just kind of socially distantly gave me a birthday card for Ellie. He rang me on her birthday to say, Caroline's just rung me, which is his wife, to say it's Ellie's birthday today. He said, and just he'd forgotten. But he said his memory's not great. I mean, he keeps saying, you know, he's getting old, but he's only 60, hang on, 7? No, 66. My mum was 53. The year 1953, that is. My dad was born 5 months later in the following year. Mum's 53, Dad's 54, so it makes him 66. But my brother has seen him a bit more than I have, and he said my dad's developed the shakes. I've not seen them yet because we've not had anyone around, but my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, they've both seen it, and I think Dad tries to hide it. My dad's not one for, you know, telling everyone if something's up, but we do, what little we do know is that he had an MRI just a couple of months back, but he's never told anybody what the results were. But he's honest about being forgetful. He said to me the other day, he said, I have these moments where I go in, I get up because I think, oh, I'll go and do that. And when he gets to the room he was going to, he forgets what he got up for. I said, well, I've done that. I've done that a number of times. And then it takes for me to go back into the room I've just come out of and sit back down for me to go, I know what it was now. So frustrating as well. You've got out your chair for something. As soon as you sit back down, you remember what it was. It's just testing you. Anyway, my washing machine, I swear it's teasing us. Today it wants to work. It hasn't had an error. On the usual wash load that it would have an error, it hasn't had one. It's catch-22 though. Do you ring or don't you? Because it's not happening every wash. But if you don't, you know, it's probably going to end up that it's broke. And then we'll be completely without a washing machine for the second time. Isn't life such good fun, eh? I really don't want to adult today. Oh, whoops. I spent a lot of time. Hang on, why did I do that? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I saw a post on Facebook. So I jumped on Etsy just because I liked what she'd shown. I spent ages on Etsy. Oh my goodness, there's so many nice patterns. Anyway, I came across the one I was after. Oh my goodness, there's like 3 or 4 different variants of the same style, if that's the right word. They're all like Disney related, but each one's like different characters. I mean, the one I'm looking at features Mickey Mouse centrally, and then it's got like other Disney films around it, but it's amazing. So that is going to be my next pattern for cross stitch. And you know when you get that buzz because you know you like something, you really want it. Yeah, that's me at the moment. I just really want it. And I showed my other half. The pattern's not bad. It's only like £4.90 or something like that. But now here's the but. This blinking wax. You guys know the Once Upon a Fairy Tale that I'm working on is like 999 stitches wide by 700 and something high. This one's the same size. So it's going to be one heck of a bap. Ellie she had a look. She's being nosy just because I was showing her dad. So she had to be nosy and I showed her. And I told her, she asked how big, so I told her, and she just like, that's going to take you years. Says my Once Upon a Fairy Tale one. But I could always alternate the two out, focus on one main one week and the other main one the next week. A lot of people seem to do that on FlossTube. They switch out their BAPs weekly. And then like when they're not working on the BAPs during the week, they get out a little one that they can, you know, easily pick up and easily put down in between jobs or, you know, housework or kids. Oh, I'm warming up now. Sat right by the radiator. Tyler's hamster. He's now Ellie and Riley's hamster. We were doing a cage out the other day. Now Tyler, he's a little bit like me, but worse. You know, when there's certain smells you can and certain smells you can't deal with, and you just find them, it makes you gag. Well, her cage gets completely cleaned out once a week, but it has like little cleanups during the week. Like she'll have a corner where she likes to use as a toilet. So, you know, we have to clean that bit out, and that's what he doesn't like. It's the smell of her urine. And yeah, so he said, I don't want her anymore, Mum. I was tempted to say, you know, we can't just get rid of her just because you don't want her. That's, you know, having a pet is a long-term commitment, whether you want to, whether you want to serve the term out with that pet or not, you know. But Ellie was then like, we'll have her. So I had a conversation with Riley, because Riley has a massive fear of the dark. There's never been any reason for him to be scared of the dark, ever. You know, I've never scared him, or nobody else has ever scared him. So it's just his own fears. So on a night time, he has these two plug-in lamps. No, one plug-in night light. Now, with the door open and the landing light on, it creates just enough light for him to sleep comfortably. So I said, you do realise if you have the hamster, your bedroom door will have to go shut at night time, because Luna is a little bugger for trying to catch the hamster, because she does it to my gliders as well. Anyway, Riley was like, yeah, okay, we'll be all right, because the lamp will be on. So I was like, okay, if you're sure, then yeah, by all means. Anyway, when it came to bedtime, he asked if, being as Tyler didn't have the hamster anymore, could they have his night light. Tyler's not afraid of the dark. He just has a night light for Hammy more than anything else, I think, because if she's gnawing at the bars at night time, he will get up to her and just settle her down, talk to her, you know, the usual. So I gave Ellie and Riley Tyler's lamp as well. So it, like, one covered one half the room and one covered the other half. Excuse me. Anyway, I pulled his door to. I didn't close it properly because his door's quite stiff anyway because of the underlay under their carpet. 10 minutes later, he was in my room. I don't like it. It's too dark. So I spent about an hour in and out of bed, in and out of bed. In the end, I had to give him my lamp that I'd normally put on my cross stitch of an evening if I wanted to cross stitch, because the light is just appalling at night time. So I have to have my night light so I can see what I'm stitching. So I gave him that one. I had to clip it to the end of his bed. Honestly, an hour and a half. But he says, what if we can't get used to sleeping with Hammy? Well, either Tyler has her back or I've got no choice but to, you know, find someone else to take her. That upset him then. Because then he was sobbing, feeling guilty that Hammy's got to go just because of me. And, oh dear, tears. And I said, look, I don't know what you're fussing for anyway, because when you get in bed, you completely cover your head with your quilt and you look like Mother Teresa. Just put, yeah, Riley's thing is thinking. He thinks way too much. And then he starts overthinking, and then he starts with anxiety, and just he gets himself in a state and worked up. And I think, oh my gosh, Tyler's bad. Tyler's anxiety is quite bad. Riley's only 9. How's he going to be when he gets older? It worked anyway. Whatever it was I said to him specifically, he fell asleep. I don't know if he just grew too tired, because it was like 12:30. It went on for ages. Anyway, he got up the next morning and he was so chuffed with himself. He said, I did it. So, you know, I praised him. Told you could do it. And he just got excited then, because that meant Hammy could stay, and he loves to play with Hammy. He used to beg to play with Hammy when she was Tyler's. So last night I was a little bit anxious about them going to bed in case he got a little bit anxious again, but he did get out of bed again, but it had nothing to do with it being too dark. He just said, Hammy won't go to bed, she's in a wheel, she's running around and it's just making too much noise. I said, look, bury your head like you normally do, don't even think about it, she'll go back to bed. And Riley was like, yeah, but she keeps getting out for food. I said, yeah. He said, does food give energy? I said, well, does it give you energy? He said, yeah. I said, well, it gives hamster energy as well then. He said, well, she needs to stop eating then, and then she'll go to bed. Oh dear. Bless him. So the last few days, they've been getting her out quite a lot actually, more than Tyler ever did, I think. And they're really enjoying it. I think hamster is as well. I haven't heard her gnaw in the bars as much. She lets you know when she's bored. She'll chew the bars. It used to drive Tyler insane, and I used to say, well, spend some blinking time with her. You know, you wanted her, and now you can't be bothered. I mean, don't get me wrong, I never went into this lightly with my son. We did have the, you realise how much work it's going to be. You can't just ignore her. You have to do her cage, her bedding, her water, her food. And he was like, yeah, I know all that. And you know, I'll do it. Here we are, you know, 9 months down the line. And he's had enough. I've been helping him with the cage, to be fair, for the last few months, just because he can't stand the smell. I used to walk in Tyler's room. Now he shuts his door just because of the cats, obviously, with the hamster having been in there. He'd walk in, and because his bedroom's only it's a box room, it's only small. And then when Hammy has decided she wants to, you know, go to the toilet on her shelf, you know, there's no sawdust to absorb it, and you've walked in and he's had that bedroom all shut off and whatever, and the smell, I've walked in and gone, oh my gosh. And Tyler's like, I can't smell it. Well, I'm not really surprised. You've been sitting in here how many hours now, you know? Did the shopping yesterday, and Ellie brought her birthday money with her. And she ended up, now how many of you remember this? She bought the board game, Game of Life. Oh my gosh, I grew up with that game. It was my brother's, and we used to love it. So Ellie was like, will you play this with me? Of course. It was either that, Monopoly, or Cluedo when we were kids. I even had a game once called Double Dare, I think it was, and you'd have these dare cards, and you'd have to do, I think there was like 2 severity of cards, one was worse than the other, and like there'd be one like eat a teaspoon of mustard or a teaspoon of butter or sniff another player's socks. It was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And you know, I don't even remember whatever happened to that board game, but it was so much fun. It's funny really, a lot of the board games I grew up with are still around today. There's even one another one my brother had. He used to like board games, and it was called Rebound. And it'd be like you had this little marble with this thing around it, and you'd slide it up the board. There was 2 elastic bands on the top, one here, and there was a central divider. You'd bounce it up off this one, bounce off that one, and down the other side. And you had to get it within the scoring zone on the other side. If you did it too hard, it'd fall off the end, and that didn't count. But yeah, the hours of fun we used to have as kids playing board games. My uncle, my dad's brother, used to come round on Christmas, and he'd play with us. He always cheated. He always denied it, but he always cheated. Oh dear. The memories. If only we could rewind a little, hey? I've been watching a lot of paranormal caught on camera this week. I like getting into little programs. We used to watch a program called Most Haunted, but we started to find it was a bit too I don't know, we just didn't feel it was believable. So we started watching this other one, and for the life of me I can't remember what it's called now. But we got quite into that one. We thought there's no way they could have faked that, whatever it was they were doing or whatever. But then a month or 2 into watching it, we saw this clip, and it showed you that they put this fishing line onto the back of the collar of one of the excuse me, on the collar of one of the presenters. And you couldn't see it obviously because it was fishing wire, but they pointed it out, and it was like, oh my gosh, we stopped watching that program from then. But this paranormal one, it's like everyday Joe Public catching things on camera, and I find it really interesting. Riley will walk in, look at the telly, and walk back out again. It's like, nope. Yeah, it's nothing, you know. I mean, the one, somebody's Ring doorbell caught what looked like UFOs, lights dancing in the sky. I watch some weird stuff, I know. But I like weird. Maybe that's because I'm weird. I know I'm weird. Oh, it's lovely and toasty in here now. Oh, excuse me. Mind you, I've got the living room door shut. And my front room's pretty good at holding in heat when you shut the door. I actually put my Christmas decorations up. I'm not sure if you can see like the reflection, because we put this massive set of lights. It's ridiculously long. It goes all the way around my front room, around the ceiling once, and then there's still loads left over. Yeah, so around the crease of the ceiling, against where the wall meets the ceiling, we always put coloured lights up, and I can see them reflecting in the canvas, but I'm not sure if you can. If you can, I apologise. But yeah, I only put all my decorations up yesterday. I just have not been feeling it this year at all. Really, really not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a Scrooge. I love Christmas, usually. I think this year's just been hard for everyone, hasn't it? And it's kind of hard to pick yourself up and pull yourself out of that. I'm sure you guys will know what I mean. I just wish there was some rewind button where someone could go back to when this whole thing started and just wipe it out. Sorry, I keep catching my blinking top on the corner of the canvas and it keeps moving it. Some more down here then. Let's put some more in. Got a lot of this purple. I like this purple, it's quite nice. I'm just going to slide you up a little bit more because I need my arm to reach down there. Let's fill in the gaps. Oh, yesterday I had a phone call. No, not yesterday, the day before. I had a phone call from my eldest to ask my advice. Everyone makes mistakes when they first have a newborn. You know, no one's born with the intelligence to know exactly what to do. It's kind of learned. Well, he said it was time for Logan to have a sleep. He normally goes to sleep straight after his bottle. He was tired, but he wouldn't nod off, was the impression I got. So he lay with him on the settee. And he proceeded to fall asleep. My son, not the baby. He says, next thing I know, I've woke up, he's on the floor. He's actually rolled off the settee. Right, okay. So I just did the usual. Did he cry? He said, not exactly, but he hasn't exactly got a high settee, if you know what I mean. It's quite a low one considerably. Did he cry? He said, no, he just sort of whinged. I said, okay. Was he sleepy? Did he just, you know? He said, no, he's been pretty wide awake and smiling at us. And I said, well, if he seems normal, you'd probably be okay. But, you know, I suppose you should always seek advice. So they did, and they said, right, we want you to take him down to hospital, even though the lady on the phone even said, I think he's okay. You know, there's nothing you're telling me that worries me. She said, but just to be on the safe side. So he took him down to A&E. This was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He rang me again then at 10. He was still there. 7 hours later. He said they're trying to talk me into staying in with him. So I said, okay. Well, obviously, you know, perhaps that's just a precautionary measure. But I don't want to stay in, Mum. I don't blame him. No one likes hospitals, really, do they? But, you know, what has to be done has to be done. Anyway, he rang me back I texted him, sorry, a short time before I turned off to go to sleep, something past 12. Are you still there or did you go home? He said, no, they've put me on a ward. They told me protocol or precautionary or whatever it is, that I've got to stay in with him overnight. So I messaged him the next morning, about 8:30. No, he was still there. He says, I'm waiting for the doctors to come round just to say, yes, I can go home. I said, okay, has he had a good night? Has he been? She said, no, he slept. He says, and I've only had about 2 hours. But we've all been there, haven't we? You know what it's like trying to sleep in a new place. It isn't the best. And Reese himself hasn't even been in hospital for 5 years since he banged his head and had his bad accident on his bike. But he didn't like hospital then either, so he did. He stayed in and the baby was fine. Thank God. But, you know, I don't even need to say anything to him. He's learnt his lesson. He even said to me, that's the last time I will try and settle in with me on the settee. He said he can go in the Moses. And I'll just sit by him. He did ask if any of them had ever fell out of bed. I said, no, one rolled off the settee because he was asleep on the settee and I went to the door. Somebody knocked the door. But that must have woken them on the settee without me realising, and he rolled off. But he was a lot older than I say a lot. He was about 1. But I'd been sat by him on the settee up to that point, so I hadn't sort of made any special measures to make sure he didn't roll off because I was there. So just as luck would have it, somebody knocked the door and it never happened again. I can reassure you on it. Like I said, we all make mistakes. And I think the guilt was eating him anyway, so I don't need to be putting any extra pressure on. But yeah, he's fine. He's smiling a lot more now. I keep getting little videos that they send me where he's smiling and it's gorgeous. Oh, he's so sweet. Just wish I could get to spend more time with him. Have a hair. Okay, I'm going to put the 5s away now because they're all over the other side. But in one way, I suppose I'm quite lucky that I have... Oh, I found one. That I have, you know... Well, not so much I'm lucky that Reese is with the person he's with because she's very, very, very thoughtful. I've just found another one. I get as many videos off her as I do off Reese, you know, and it could easily be where she's not, you know, not as thoughtful, if that's even the right word for it. But anyway, number 10. Over there. But yeah, it's all good. Get lots of videos, lots of photos. I think my phone's going to start screaming at me at some point that it's running out of storage from all these photos. So I'm going to have to kind of move them into another storage. I've got Dropbox, I've got Mega, I've got Google Drive. I keep getting them and then I keep filling them and then I have to find another one and it's ridiculous. But he is so sweet. So, so sweet. You finished now, have you?
Mm-hmm.
Had enough now? You should have brought your papers down from upstairs for that thing. They're on the printer. Was that what you were meant to do? No? Just asking. Or if you switch the tablet on, it does actually work, Al. Go, it's fine. Put her down. Just stress her out. Oops. Wow, man. We've had to stand out in the freezing cold this morning trying to put a new security light up on the side of the house because the old one's broke. So the side of the house gets no light whatsoever. So we've had to spend this morning, rob up a ladder, me holding the ladder, fitting the new security light. And boy was it cold. Wow, Luna, I can hear you purring from here.
She enjoys with us.
She does. Stop rubbing your mush on everything.
I'm gonna push it out.
Where was I? How did I end up working on the face? Honestly, I was working up here. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I have rambled on enough. And if any of you haven't watched my floss tube on Friday, I said about I had noticed I've gone past 600 subscribers. So thank you so much to you guys. You're all amazing. And without you, I wouldn't be where I am. So it's all thanks to you guys. So I will sort out a giveaway. What and when, I'm not sure. But there will be one for definite. Because I can't let that pass, can I? You know, it's another milestone. Hello, Luna. Bye, Luna. Yeah, anyway. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for liking my videos, as always. Take care. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. 2 feet apart. And enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Bye.